Have you ever had a dream, Neo, that you were so sure was real? What if you were unable to wake from that dream? How would you know the difference between the dream world and the real world?
This can't be.
Be what? Be real?
It's finally here. I am reviewing The Matrix. This is going to be not a heavy spoiler-ish because the film is like 20 years old now, so that doesn't really matter. But like and subscribe, hit that subscribe button, subscribe, get me to 50 please. That's what we're aiming for. I'm looking over here and my camera's a bit all over the place. I broke my stand, which kind of threw me off there the other day. I was actually sitting down to go through the review again, and I just moved my stand and the light ring and the holder just cracked and fell on the floor. Not gonna lie, that upset me, but sure, look, we're here now again. Let's talk about The Matrix. So The Matrix, 1999 was the year. I didn't see this film when it came out. I was too young. But I think I seen this film in 2004. Loved it. Every single minute of this film, I hung on the edge of it. Now, when I was a kid, I just loved it for the fighting. But when I rewatched it, I loved it for the story. I mean, The Matrix is the world around you, and it's not real, and that's terrifying. And machines have taken over the world and imprisoned humanity and used them as like a life source for just power, and just plugged them into this fake world. Genius. Skynet could learn a lot from these guys. The Terminators were just lazy. But let's talk about Neo. Neo is the one, and he's going to save the world, according to Lawrence Fishburne's Morpheus. Morpheus finds this guy and gets him out of the Matrix by offering him the red pill or the blue pill. Blue pill is like, you can take this, stay here and live the lie, or take the red pill and come with me and let's see what's going on. And Neo takes this red pill. The movie just moonshots straight up, and it just gets so much more awesome in such a little space of time. I mean, could you imagine? I wasn't there in the cinema. If anyone was, comment down below. But I imagine seeing that scene where Neo wakes up and he's in the machine. He's at like one of the machine farms where they're using millions of people as just batteries for their cities and their weapons. That's some scary stuff, man. That was not nice to watch. But it's just so clever the way it's all done. But basically, Neo gets flushed because he plugged out and they have no need for him. This like little spidery weird machine comes over and just says, nah, fuck you, flushes him out. And then Morpheus picks him up, and we get the rest of the movie. Neo gets trained up in the ways of the Matrix. Morpheus explains it in further detail to him. He learns some jiu-jitsu, drunken boxing, karate, and taekwondo in like 4 hours. And him and Morpheus and Neo then fight in like, I think it's called a chateau, or the chateau scene. Oh, it was just amazing. But the whole thing about why he took Neo out of the Matrix was he believes he's the one that he's going to save the world, and he has to bring him to the Oracle, this all-knowing woman who helps with the prophecy and to find the one. And this lady basically says, no, Neo, I don't think it's you, mate. Neo's like, that's a shame. Which is all a ploy because it is him. Morpheus gets captured by one of the agents who... These guys are just like software built in. They're sentient programs. Terrifying. Agent Smith and these guys... Agent Smith is like the Darth Vader of The Matrix. Simple as. And I was a huge fan of Hugo Weaving after this movie. I mean, he absolutely kills it as Agent Smith. Just like he kills everyone who he doesn't like, essentially. I mean, like, he ragdolls Morpheus, and Neo puts up a fair fight, but Smith does smack him around and give him a heap of rib shots. But like, yeah, like, The Matrix is just... The whole movie, everything flows so well from start to finish. It's just such a great time. It's interesting, it has great action, great characters. You know, even the actors all bring their part. I think one of the worst actors in this film is Keanu Reeves. This Cypher dickhead basically tells the agents where they are because he wants to go back into the Matrix because he's fed up of the world that they live in. And who could blame him? The world that they live in is terrifying. I mean, the sentinels that come after you, and the only weapon you have against them is an EMP. And these things look like squids that just fly around. I don't even understand how they fly. They're just creepy. I remember that scene where they had to power off the ship the first time I seen it. I was like, what? And then you see them like flying by and you're like, ugh. And then one just crawls out and goes in front of you and you're like, ugh. Yeah, they're creepy little things. I don't like them. By the end, Neo boxes the head. Neo and Smith...
you do.
Fight scene. Then he has to leg it because even if you beat an agent, they can just zap straight into another person that's plugged into the Matrix and take over their body. So there's not much you can do. The only option they have is to run. Neo's the first person to stand and fight against one and survive, but he has to leg it. He snags a phone and he runs away, finds a way out, gets to the phone, and just as he's about to escape, he gets shot. And then Trinity gives him like the kiss of life, wakes him up, and that makes him become the one. That's the only part of the film that I just didn't really like, was that I love you thing when he's unconscious. It just didn't really hit me anyway. It still didn't when I rewatched the film. And that is why I'm going to give The Matrix a 9 out of 10, not a 10 out of 10. My next review will be coming probably next week. I'm going to be doing The Matrix Reloaded. I promise this one won't take too much longer. If you can slap that subscribe button, let me know what you think down below. And I will see you next time.